Energetic, upbeat, inspirational, honest broker, determined to make a difference, ranked among the top 10 for the 2010 World Mayor Prize. A former Rhodes Scholar with Clintonian charisma. Fearless, determined, committed. That's how the press has described Cory Booker. And he is all of that. But that leaves out the two most important things. Cory is a 2-degree Stanford alumnus and a former member of the Stanford Cardinal football team that held the axe for 4 years. Born in Washington, D.C., he grew up in a predominantly white suburb of New Jersey. His parents were among the first black executives at IBM. They instilled a sense of honor, a commitment to justice and opportunity, and a strong work ethic in their children. As an undergraduate at Stanford, he studied political science. Interested in helping urban youth even then, he volunteered at a student-run crisis hotline, reaching out to young people in East Palo Alto. After receiving his BA in 1991, he earned his second Stanford degree, an MA in sociology. Awarded a Rhodes Scholarship, he studied modern history at Oxford, where he received an honors degree in 1994. 3 years later, he earned his JD from the Yale Law School. In his second year at Yale, he moved to Newark. At the time, it was one of the poorest, most violent cities in the nation. But it was also a city with a glorious history. Booker has often described cities as, and I quote, the last frontier to make real the promise of America. And he believed that Newark was just such a city. In 1998, at the age of 29, he was elected to the Newark City Council, where he focused on cleaning up neighborhoods. Some of his methods were unorthodox. In one of the best-known examples, he went on a hunger strike and camped out in the middle of a drug-ridden housing project, an act that prompted dozens of neighbors to join him because they were concerned about his safety. And it worked. The Newark mayor, Sharpe James, who had opposed earlier reform efforts, agreed to increase police patrols in the area. In 2002, Booker decided to take on City Hall literally. He ran for mayor against the 4-term incumbent. After losing in a campaign later chronicled in Street Fight, an Academy Award-nominated documentary, he withdrew from the public eye, but not from public service. He remained focused on transforming his city, and 4 years later, he ran for mayor again. In 2006, Cory Booker was elected the 36th mayor of Newark by a huge margin. Currently serving in his second term, he was worked with what one reporter called epic determination to reduce crime and create an urban environment that nurtures families and the economy. He has understood that a city cannot flourish unless families feel safe. He tackled crime prevention in a typically Booker way, hands-on. Against the advice of everyone, he patrolled the streets at night with his security team. He partnered with Newark businesses and raised millions of dollars to install more surveillance cameras. He hired a well-respected police chief who put more officers on the streets in evenings and weekends when crime was most rampant. Within 2 years, the murder rate dropped 36%. And on April 1st, 2010, Newark marked its first month in 44 years without a homicide. Under his leadership, the city has also added more affordable housing, increased the number of parks and green spaces, and attracted millions in private philanthropy. After Booker expressed deep concern about low academic achievement, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg committed $100 million to help improve Newark schools. Despite a grueling schedule, he remains one of the nation's most accessible mayors, responding to personal appeals, holding regular office hours, and using social media to stay in touch. He has more than 1 million followers on Twitter. And a few years ago, when a constituent tweeted him directly that she was concerned about her 65-year-old father shoveling his driveway on New Year's Eve, Corey responded, "Please don't worry about your dad. I've got salt, shovels, and great volunteers." And yes, the mayor shoveled his driveway. Since his days as a big brother, Corey has been concerned about at-risk youth. When a couple of teenagers in Newark were arrested for spray painting graffiti, including the phrase, "Kill Booker," Corey decided to mentor them, taking them out for meals and arranging tutoring, but also setting standards for dress, behavior, and language. 2 months ago, on arriving home, he saw smoke coming from the building next door. He heard a woman scream that her daughter was trapped upstairs. His security detail tried to keep him back, but he said, "This woman is going to die if we don't help her." Help he did, running into the building and suffering second-degree burns and smoke inhalation, but saving that woman. Hours later, he was back online. Tweeting reassurances to everyone concerned and praising his security officer for help. Newark fire officials characterized Corey's rescue as very heroic, but very dangerous. Indeed, Corey told Oprah Winfrey a few days later that he was terrified and thought at one moment that he might not make it. But that seems to me to characterize Corey's leadership. He has the courage to do the right thing, even when it is scary. And that courage, that conviction, has helped improve the lives of people in his community and beyond. He exemplifies the potential of every Stanford graduate to make a profound difference in our world. Please join me in warmly welcoming one of Stanford's own, Newark Mayor Cory Booker.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Last time I was on this field, some guy from UCLA tried to bury me right here. It's good to be back on top of the soil. I feel so lucky to be here. I really do. It's a feeling that Stanford has given me for all the years I've been involved with this amazing university. I know there are some people here that felt like me. After freshman orientation, you got back to your dorm, you closed the door, and sat on your couch and said, "Why did they let me into this place?" I began from that moment on when people got impressed that we're not from the Stanford community and said, "You went to Stanford?" And I said, "Yes." "Well, they let me in because of my 4.0 and 1600. And I said it was 4.0 yards per carry and 1,600 receiving yards my senior year in high school. Every step of my Stanford career, this university has given me immensely more than I have ever been able to give it. And I feel on this day, when we celebrate the class of 012, that we... Is this gonna go on my whole speech, guys? I'll be very careful when I use that then. I feel that this university and this moment for me just fills me again with a sense of gratitude. For me in this great class, today is not just a day of celebration, but it is a day of appreciation. And allow me, with the class, to just give my thanks. First, thanks to the trustees of this university. I had a chance to serve with them for 5 years. It is one of the most incredible assemblages of human beings on the planet, and they pour their heart and their spirit into this university to protect its highest values and to ensure that it endures. Thank you, Board of Trustees. I want to thank the faculty and staff. I have never, ever in my life seen folks that have not just mastered their discipline, not just mastered their academic endeavor, but showed to me and other students a level of love, caring, involvement, and spirit that sustains me to this day. My connection to faculty members here at this university has not been severed just by leaving here. Indeed, as a faculty member, every time I've gotten inaugurated as an elected official, it was always my family there, and even a Stanford faculty member, Jody Maxman, who joins me on that stage. Please thank all of the faculty members as well for all that they've done. And I want to thank another group that I probably did not say thank you to enough. A group that